back. It has been a few days, right?
Yeah, about a week since our last one. Yeah.
Yeah, a week. And some things have been going on. We kind of experienced some snow here in Texas, and that's been fun. Been kind of locked in. How many inches do you think you guys got?
I didn't get a total amount, but the last time we measured, it was about 6.5.
Was it?
I think that's what Adelaide said.
Yeah. 6.5. Yeah. Your assistant. And so, I mean, we also we've got the fires that have been happening in California.
Yeah. Texas is freezing. California is burning. Mm-hmm. Our country's debating with Mexico and Canada and Greenland and
the UK.
It's, it's been an eventful week.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Did you pay attention to the fight between Musk and
on X,
the Prime Minister of UK?
Yeah. Don't even know why he would get into that fight. There's a pretty obvious winner.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
An obvious right side.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
So the argument is, right, or I guess Elon is trying to bring forth this hidden secrecy in the UK regarding these rapes from migrants raping children.
Yeah, for some reason they don't want to talk about that out loud.
Why would they not want to talk about that? Are we talking about just some dude some British dude raping people?
No. Yeah. You said that wrong.
Oh.
And also, even if it was a British dude doing it, he should be condemned and locked away.
Yeah, well,
or worse.
Executed, in my opinion.
I'm actually really okay with that.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. I mean, they're obviously pushing an agenda with immigration. Mm-hmm. They don't want to offend.
Yeah.
And so they bow down instead of standing up for what's right. Mm-hmm. And it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to most humans.
Yeah.
But the political realm is a beast all its own.
Right.
And
it's
dark.
This has got to be demonic.
Yeah.
Because the way that the West has just kind of laid down and let these barbarians into their country without any vetting it is as if these immigrants, or whatever you want to call them, illegal immigrants, are more like they're royalty in a way compared to the origins country's own citizens.
Yeah.
They are considered more superior in a way.
Yeah. It's like somebody breaking into your home and you saying, "Hey, let me feed you and clothe you and house you," and you neglect your children.
Yeah.
It's a wild concept. I'm all for helping somebody that needs help. I'm not going to let them take over my house. That's insane.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
And in Texas, you break an in or you get shot.
Yeah.
That's not the American policy right now.
No, not at all.
It is, you get paid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm really curious how the whole mass deportation is going to be carried out. The media is going to go absolutely nuts and find the best story to attach it to it. We got this mom, and then there's 3 or 4 children that they're going to be removed, and the children are left behind. They're
going to sensationalize it. For sure.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, though. Talking about, okay, you got these parents and they're going to be deported, and you've got these kids, and oh no, we're separating these kids from their parents.
Right.
I'm okay if they take them back.
Right.
That's fine. Mm-hmm. Raise them in their country. I have no problem with that. Separation doesn't have to happen. But if you break a crime, if you commit a crime, break the law is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
And say I do, and I have to go to jail. I'm getting separated from my kids.
Yeah.
The government's not stepping in and taking care of them after I go to prison or whatever.
Right.
It's no different. You commit a crime.
Yeah. I mean, you got to suffer the consequences.
Yeah. It's common sense 101.
Right.
Class is in session. Sit down.
Yeah, we're either a sovereign country or we're not.
Yes.
I mean, and the or we're not has been the case in recent memory.
Yeah.
We're not a sovereign country right now.
You can't be without a strong border.
No. What border?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just everything's backwards, but I'm hopeful that everything's going to change on here in about, what do we got, 9 days, I think?
Today's the 11th, so
yeah.
Yep.
9 days. So that kind of brings me to something that you and I, a video clip we watched.
Yeah, from Fox News.
Yeah.
I believe you came across that on X.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy's name, so it was posted by UAP James, but it's a Fox News clip, and it's at UAP James on X, and we'll post the link in the show notes. But to set this up, so it's a press conference. You've got Trump, and they ask him a question about the drones, and we'll just let it play for itself.
Yeah, we'll play the clip.
I'm going to give you a report on drones about 1 day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about that?
Just one quick comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
Is it dangerous?
Well, I can tell you this. While we were dealing with a terrorist attack in New Orleans, we had drones being flown over our nuclear reactors in Louisiana. And we brought that attention to the FAA. We've been asking the FAA to give these states the ability to mitigate these drones, and it's sitting on some bureaucrat's desk. And that's real.
Nobody knows. They don't want to talk about it. Go ahead, Governor, you're going to say?
I was just going to say we have drones in Wyoming flying over our infrastructure as well. And it's incredibly frustrating that we not only have no way of knowing what it is, but nobody knows how to deal with them.
They don't want to talk about it, and nobody knows why. They don't want to talk about it. That could be us sending drones. I hope that's the case, us doing it and doing research, and maybe they don't want to talk about it from that standpoint. I hope it's not an enemy, but we're going to find out on the 21st, the day after. You have to give me a little time for the inauguration, but shortly thereafter, we'll give you a report on it. We'll tell you exactly what it is. They know, and it's very strange that they aren't talking about it. I'm going to...
Okay. So there's a lot there. It just, this clip blew my mind absolutely. I mean, so you've got Trump, and then there's the governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, and then there's the governor of Louisiana. I don't know his name. And then there's also at the very end, you have the governor of Wyoming talking about this. 3 freaking governors talking about this.
Yeah, this isn't Joe Blow on TikTok or on X having a conversation about how crazy this is.
Yeah.
These are the leaders of states and the upcoming leader of our country talking about it, and they don't know a thing about it.
Right.
And they're not getting answers. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think it is?
I don't know. I really want to emphasize it, too. They're not finding these drones flying over farmland.
No.
They're flying over sensitive infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's key, what he just said. Can you say, I'm serious, say that one more time, because it's very important. These are not just, flying over fields, which, there's reports that's happening.
Yes.
But this is going over key infrastructure, very secure airspace over Army bases. Yeah. Can you go ahead and just say that? I mean, you said it perfectly.
You reiterated it. I think they got it.
Okay.
It's just insane that's even a thing, and nothing's being done, and they're being told nothing about it.
Yeah.
And Mr. Trump, President Trump, I know that you're our first listener to this podcast.
Absolutely.
First subscriber.
Yeah.
We're going to hold you to it. The 21st, I want to hear.
Yeah. You think he's going to actually say something on the 21st?
I think he will say something for sure.
Yeah.
I hope it's clear.
Yeah.
That's probably going to have a lot to do with what he is in, what sort of briefing he gets on it, on what he's going to say. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, if it's some sort of national security risk for him to say something, he's not going to go too in depth.
Right.
I don't know. I hope there is some sort of answer that,
Yeah.
I don't know. Trump's pretty transparent when he can be.
He is. Either he's going to say, I think he'll definitely say if it's something that he can't reveal due to national security, then he'll say that. So it'll either be something on the lines of that, or he just may be so fed up and say the hell with it. This is the American people's information. They need to know this. And if this truly is a possibility for disclosure, I mean, this is information for humanity, for mankind, not just for the American people. I mean, this is
depending on what they are. Yeah.
right. And I think it's criminal that if this is something to do with either, which we talked a little bit about, I think on our first episode.
Yeah. First.
Yeah, we talked about what we thought the UAPs were and the possibilities of them. I think Jesse is a little bit on. You want to?
We can dive into that a little bit. Sorry, I just hit the mic. And it's different as far as the drones themselves. I think those are man-made.
Okay.
Whether it be our government, other governments, whatever, they're not hobbyist flyers. But I believe they're man-made. The orbs, on the other hand, I lean more towards the spiritual realm.
The orbs, okay. Gotcha.
And that's one thing he didn't mention in there. But
right,
he's probably playing that one safe because he don't want to dive off into it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Come at us, call us conspiracy theorists, whatever.
Right.
They go after him for everything.
They do.
If he even mentions that right now, it's just the whole view is going to shift towards him being a crazy man and not getting information on the drones. So.
Right. Yeah. I'm kind of a little agnostic in a way in that when it comes to the UAP, because I think there's something that's there. I don't know if it's aliens or demonic or angelic or both. And so I'm just genuinely curious about it. And I want to know the truth. I don't want to be told lies or, just half truths. I want to know the truth, whatever it is.
So are you going to put that on your profile? Your UAP curious?
Yes.
Okay.
UAP curious. I'm trying to think of a pronoun for that. What could be a pronoun for that?
Not gonna lie, I haven't gone down that road.
No.
I don't know all the pronouns that are used and what's acceptable.
Let's just go with meow and bark. That's my pronouns, works. Meow and bark. That is, I don't understand why that video clip has not been just played over and over by every news organization. But that's been the case since 2017, whenever they had that big, there was a Senate, or maybe it was a congressional hearing, one of them, and they revealed that there has been UAPs, not necessarily, crashed and landed. I don't think they admitted to that, but they admitted that there's UAPs that they don't understand. There's been recorded sightings. And it seems like even when they said that in 2017, it was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to play in with political speak.
Yeah.
Just because whenever they do talk, they leave it so vague. Mm-hmm. I know there was one, and I want to say this was 2023 when they had another hearing. It may have been early 2024, but they were talking, and they asked, Has there been a UAP crash? Yes. Did you find alien life on there? And instead of saying yes or no, he said, we found non-human biological form, DNA or whatever. On there. So that could be a goat. Could be non-human.
Could be.
You know what I mean? So it's just the way they phrase it.
Yeah.
If there's a little bit of
Very
interest
technical.
out there, and then it's also like, who knows what you mean? So I think some of it's that. Some of it is, along with everything else, they're not going to push it because they have an agenda, and they'll push it when they want to cover for something else.
Yeah. You know, have you ever heard of Dr. Stephen Greer?
No, I'm terrible with names.
Okay.
Maybe.
So this guy, I have no idea if this guy's, credible what he's saying. But so he used to be an emergency room doctor, an actual doctor. Okay. And now he's this big UFO guy. And a lot of the claims he makes they're fun. They're fun to listen to and, speculate on.
They pique your interest.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know if what he says is true, but he's put himself and his reputation on the line, because he is saying, in fact, I just watched a clip earlier today that, in the next 10 days or about 2 weeks ago, he said by the end of January, him and a group of, former intelligence officers and current intelligence officers are going to come forth with absolute proof of extraterrestrial life and that we've been visited. And so he was on Newsmax yesterday and said that, no, this is going to happen now within the next 10 days. So this was yesterday. That means 10 days would have been within the inauguration, before the inauguration, basically. Because 10 days from yesterday would have been the 20th, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, that's a pretty bold statement to say that. And so, this guy's put out several documentaries. He's really well known within the, I guess, UAP community or whatever. And I've been kind of an outsider of that community for the past 6 months, but I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm just fascinated by the topic, especially with the drones that started, I guess became more, just was on the news starting in December, right? And I know it's been happening before that, but I think that's when I started realizing it.
It just kind of blew up. It became more publicly visible.
Yeah. But yeah, he says within the next 10 days, this, him and, I mean, he's got several different, according to him, several different people that will disclose to the American people.
That'll be something to look out for.
Yeah. So who knows what that, if that's going to happen, but if it doesn't, regardless, we'll know for sure if this dude's a heretic or not, so
yeah,
we'll know something, we'll learn something from this. So yeah, there's that. What else? We got the fires. We didn't really talk about the fires, right?
Yeah. The fires are, I mean,
what's your
there's
conspiracy
a lot of different
theory
paths
on that?
that you okay. Yeah.
Give me
what I was gonna
something.
say. Well,
let's get crazy.
First of all, before we get crazy, let's just acknowledge the fact that we have a major disaster in California burning a bunch of celebrities' houses.
Yeah.
And the federal government's going to come in and cover all of the cost for the next 180 days of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to cover all the firefighter salaries. They're going to, I mean, whatever. I don't know if you remember, but it wasn't that long ago. There was a hurricane that hit.
Yeah.
And
they got
all these
everything
folks
paid
in
for, right?
Tennessee and North Carolina, $750 loan that they can pay back after they prove that they were actually affected.
Yeah. That's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah. There's
so
some that
why
are
do you
more
think
worthy
that's
than
going to happen?
others.
Why do you think they're doing that then?
Why do you think? Who cares about North Carolina? They're not big donors.
Well, they're a blue state, right?
Oh, well, unfortunately, a big part of them was for a while with all the water.
So do you think this has something to do with politics?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're pumping so much money, a lot of these celebrities and over Hollywood, whatever, pumping so much money. Of course they're going to get their stuff taken care of.
Yep.
It's no different. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sick. It's sick is what it is.
Yeah.
And there's been more coverage of it. And by the way, I do want to say this too. I feel terrible for the people that are losing their houses.
Oh, absolutely.
And losing their livelihoods. And I mean, they're just losing, everything's turned upside down.
Yeah.
That's awful. And I do feel like we should step up and help them.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate the double standard.
Yeah. Be consistent.
Yes. And it's, I don't know, we posted a clip. By the way, if you want to follow our TikTok, it is The Skeptics Table 0 on TikTok. Mm-hmm. We posted a clip on there, which is sad and true, but it's like, I can't remember the exact wording on there, but California's on fire, so we must immediately send another $8 billion to Ukraine. Because that's the world that we're in. We take care of them and we don't take care of our own. Mm-hmm. Of course, posted that before they came out and said, we're going to take care of everything.
Right.
But again, it's that double standard.
Yeah.
They pick and choose who they take care of.
Right.
Pat my back, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yeah.
And it's sick.
Yeah. The whole thing just is completely, some of the pictures I've seen, the videos, it's absolutely ridiculous how that whole place, and it
looks like a war-torn country.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolute incompetence. They've been talking about a lot of these fire hydrants that have been, they're dry. And a lot of this has to do with the environmental regulations that they've stopped a lot of the water flow from the north to come down to the south, and they have it running into the ocean. It just runs out into the ocean. All this fresh water.
Do you know why they're doing that?
Why is that?
To protect this stupid little fish.
Dory? You're telling me the fires are because of Dory?
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's the case.
Well,
it's not even a fish. They're tiny.
yeah.
And they're pumping all of these millions of gallons of water directly into the Pacific Ocean. Mm-hmm. And this isn't the first time that's been brought up as an issue either.
Right.
I mean, California is known for their wildfires because of their piss poor management. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing they continuously come back to. We got to protect these fish.
Yeah.
At what point does a human's life become more important than that small little school of fish?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's asinine.
Yeah. It's just unbelievable. So let's get a little crazy.
Okay.
Do you
I can go a little crazier?
Because I've heard some conflicting reports, and I think it's and it may just be idiots posting stuff on X and stuff. But do you think I know that? Well, for one, I know one person. I've seen a situation where a guy was arrested for trying to start a fire.
The neighbors took him down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And good for them. Tied him up with zip ties and rope.
Right.
I love it.
Heck yeah. It just seems almost unnatural, the amount of devastation, and I don't know. Do you think it's a possibility that these fires were started on purpose?
Oh, yeah. And I can't say that all of them were.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for sure, that guy was trying to light it on fire. Mm-hmm. They stopped him. The neighbors came together. Great.
Right.
There's been other videos posted of other people claiming to have seen same scenarios. Of course, there's no proof, so I have nowhere to run with that.
Right.
But yeah, I think
possibility there
was for sure some started on purpose. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go down that rabbit hole then. If that's the case, why? Like what would be the reason why they would burn parts of California? What do you think?
Well, I don't really know for sure. I mean, you hear a lot of different theories, especially going back to the hurricane hitting Tennessee, North Carolina. They're talking about there's a huge lithium
deposit I heard that too.
There. Yeah. And, you hear a lot of conspiracies coming about how the government's doing this to take your land away. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it is interesting. The government already has eminent domain.
Yeah.
It is so rare to win an eminent domain case against the government.
Right.
That if they want your land, they're going to take it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be cheaper in the long run to just buy you out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I don't think that's really the issue. As far as it actually setting California on fire, I don't know. Is it some sort of play to get Gavin Newsom back in the news and make him relevant again? I don't know. Talk about a failure of a leader.
Right.
I don't know if that's it. I don't know. What's your theory?
Well, I mean, I think, I guess it could be a distraction for and a potential leading up to some type of psyop when the inauguration comes. And I hate to have this mindset. I hate to where everything that happens, it's like, well, is that a psyop? Is this the government doing something to?
Yeah.
It's hard to. That's what happens when you lose trust of the institutions. There's just nothing is what it seems in a way, and everything that they tell us, they've lied to us so many times. It's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, the likelihood that the fire was started on purpose is very low. But could it have happened? Absolutely. You know, I mean, you can't put it past this government.
And I get torn on that too. And we've talked about it, and we'll probably beat that horse. It's long dead. We'll keep beating it.
Oh, yeah.
About losing faith and trust in our government, and because they've lied to us so much. And I look at that and like, absolutely, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if our government did this on purpose.
Yeah.
And then I look at the other side of it, and I'm like, I don't think our government is efficient enough to do some of these things.
Right.
They're just not. They used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. The incompetency is
It's so high.
bad that yeah. There's that.
Of course, you can look at. You want to go a little bit crazier?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Okay. So the mayor of LA is Karen Bass. Okay.
That one.
Okay. Did you catch that Glenn Beck
No, I didn't.
episode? Okay. So Glenn Beck came on and he was talking about, and I don't have that clip readily available,
Yeah.
but he was talking about Karen Bass and just kind of digging into her history. And apparently she used to go over to Cuba in the 70s and was radicalized and became a leader. And I wish I had this clip. They had the name of the group that was taking them over there. She ended up becoming a leader in this group, which is like so much so that whenever Fidel Castro died,
Yeah.
she came out and publicly said, hey, Cuba just lost a great leader. Like Cuba's the worse off for him dying.
Yeah.
You realize you're in America, right? Like,
Right. Yeah, that's a little strange.
It's a little strange. But so that group that she was with also had ties to the bombing of the Capitol in 1990 something. I can look it up real quick. They have ties.
Was it the Weather
It's from the
Underground
same group?
group?
No, that's a different one.
Yeah, that lady is just, I did see the clip where they were trying to ask her questions and she just stared and didn't say a word the whole time. It was very, very weird and awkward.
Yeah. I mean, that she has that right.
Yeah, I guess so.
And she may have been wise for using it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she seemed almost like she was stoned or on something. Who knows? She may have been. Did you find that name?
Yeah, I'm scrolling through it still.
Okay.
Susan Rosenberg.
Susan Rosenberg.
Is the one that planted the bomb, but that group was tied in with them. And again, you can go down the rabbit hole and figure out how deeply they're tied.
Yeah.
All I saw was that clip. I just thought it worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Definitely something I'm going to dig a little more into. And it was
Right.
in 1983, not 90. I was wrong on that.
83. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That lady. Yeah, it's not just her too. It's
No.
the mayor, then you have the fire chief, which
Oh my gosh.
I think I read did the there was a tweet showing that the mayor had fired.
Yes.
Did that actually happen, or was that?
I didn't verify it, but
Okay.
I saw the same.
You did, okay. So it's a complete mess. Also, I did see. Now I don't know if this is verified or not, but they showed an actual email that was sent out by the fire chief in some town in Oregon. They sent some
Their
fire
fire
trucks.
trucks?
Yeah. Well, they were stopped in Sacramento. Did you hear the story?
Yes, I heard it, and
Okay.
I was gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
And I go through it, and
Okay.
I'll throw.
Yeah, so they stopped in Sacramento because they had to. At first, they thought it was to do with an emissions test, but I think it was actually they were testing if it was making sure something was right with the trucks. I don't exactly remember.
So what the initial one said was that, it was they failed the emission test, so their trucks weren't legally allowed to operate in California.
Lord.
Now, I will say that was from Santa Monica Gazette or something like that is who originally broke that story. They did come out right before we started this, and they said, "Hey, we're sorry, we're taking that off." The tweet that had been posted on that, or the X, or whatever we call that, has been deleted, and we have no way of verifying this information.
Gotcha.
So they don't know if
So it's kind of
true or not.
unverified, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It may be true, and it wouldn't surprise me because of how inept the
No.
government of California is.
I know.
But it's not verifiable right now.
Yeah. I just don't understand. Well, I do understand those situations. You got a progressive government showing exactly what happens and the incompetence whenever government is needed in this situation. There is no actual
Leadership.
there's no leadership. Yeah. And it's just complete incompetence.
Yeah, depending on the government is like getting robbed, calling the cops, and the cops showing up and stealing your car. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather have a prostate exam than trust the government.
I know. Yeah, so we talked about the fires, and
Speaking of fires, did you hear about the fire in New York and the Bronx?
no,
They had it was an apartment building. It was a 5-alarm fire, and it was actually several buildings caught on fire. There's like 250 people displaced. So far, the last I checked, none dead, 7 injured. Just massive apartment fire. And again, we lived in New York City.
yeah,
It's so packed.
oh yeah,
I can't imagine being in one of those buildings and it's catching fire.
yeah,
Of course, we didn't exactly live in great buildings. They might have good fire escapes in this building.
Yeah,
the
true.
one we lived in,
yeah.
just jump out the window.
Yeah. So I think that's a good segue. Let's take a quick break, and we are going to tell you a couple stories. Now, episode 3 we ended on our trip to New York. So let's get into some detailed stories on that. Sound good to you?
Yeah, let's jump in.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. All right, we are back, and we are better than ever. Jesse just did a cold plunge and jumped off the roof. I think that was basically it, right?
Yeah, well, other than the giggling that y'all had after I fell. But yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Cannot confirm nor deny that actually happened. So, anyways.
Can't prove us wrong.
Yeah. So, New York.
Yeah, back to New York. On the last episode, we talked a little bit about the trip getting to New York, the build up to that, how Sam corrupted me and got me to smoke.
I think I remember
Cigar.
it in a different way, but we'll just go with it.
Anyway, y'all are listeners.
I blame
listeners.
Ramoy.
Y'all choose. You can blame Ramoy, but Ramoy wasn't there for the first time I smoked. And he wasn't there for the first time I had a beer, which is where we're going to lead up to on this one.
Well, okay. I think your mom would agree that I am as innocent as a bird. Okay.
She probably would agree to that.
And so, so I think she would disagree and say, no, Sam did not corrupt my son. My son's been corrupt since probably like 5 or 6 years old. I bet she would probably say something on the lines of that.
I think my mom would 100% say I was the easiest child and that I came back from New York different.
She paid you well to say that, didn't she?
Again, can neither confirm nor deny.
All right. So,
Yeah, so we get in New York. We get moved in. We moved into a neighborhood in Queens. It was Woodhaven. Really nice area. In the beginning, we're kind of getting settled.
Yeah.
Don't have a whole lot to do. Again, we're country bumpkins.
yeah.
We want to get out and go see what the city life is like.
Yeah.
And so
So to paint the picture of, I was thinking of this, Woodhaven. So if you guys have ever seen like King of Queens.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Right.
That's exactly what
That's kind of how the
looks like.
neighborhood was. You know,
Yep.
it's these 3-story huge houses, and each house is like, or each level is a kind of an apartment, right? And that's how our apartment was set up. So the bottom we had a bunch of, we can talk about some of the people that lived on the bottom. And
There's
then,
definitely some stories there.
yeah. And then there was the mid-level, and that's where the director lived.
Well, initially we lived there.
That's
But
true.
before
yeah.
you moved in, the upstairs, which there's a lot of fun stories up there. The
gosh.
upstairs wasn't completed,
Yeah.
and so that was part of our job, was to get it completed while we lived on the second story while he was selling his house he was currently living in.
Yes. Yeah. How long did we stay on that mid-level?
Like 2 months.
Was it that long?
Oh no, we stayed like 2 months in Woodhaven.
Yeah.
So yeah, we weren't in that mid-level very long.
I didn't think so. Not that long before we moved up to the 3rd floor. Because there was 3 stories, right?
Yep, 3 stories. We had to renovate it in order for us to move up there.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, I just wanted to paint the picture of like what this neighborhood looked like. So think King of Queens neighborhood. We are staying there, and we decide. So it was a Saturday. I believe it was a Saturday because I wanted to watch the Texas Longhorns, and
Yeah, you forgot that they were on, and we went into Manhattan, and
Yeah.
we were just strolling around, just checking out things.
yep. Yeah, and so we went to. We believe it was an Applebee's.
I think so. We were
Yeah.
in Times Square.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was an Applebee's up there. When you remembered that the game was on, and Sam is a hardcore UT fan,
Yeah.
so missing a game was not an option.
No. And so we get in there. Did we get anything to eat? I don't know.
No, we didn't get anything
No,
to
we're
eat.
just kinda-
We were, again, I was 18, you were 20.
Yeah. Not quite 21.
Not quite.
And why is that important?
Well, that's important because we decided to order a beer. We were going to have, it was going to be my first beer.
Yeah.
And Sam was very honest about it. We went up, we got a table, and the waiter came up and asked what he could help us with.
Yep.
And Sam just said, man, I'm going to be honest with you. Neither one of us is old enough, but we really just want to drink one beer and watch the game. And what did he say?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the whole thing he said. I know he was. I think it was like, is it just one beer that you guys are wanting?
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, just one would be great, you know. And he's like, okay, all right, cool. What do you want to? I think we said Bud Light. Unfortunately, I don't know why I said Bud Light.
Hey, back then Bud Light was a great
Right.
American beer company.
Yeah, it was. In fact, I think that's probably what I drank at that time, Bud Light. Anyways, so they asked what size, and we're like, well, I mean, does it have to be the smallest or the big? I mean, can we get the big one if possible? It's only one.
Yeah, since we're getting one, you might as well bring us the biggest one.
Right. Yeah. And so he brings us both pretty good sized Bud Light. And Jesse has his first cerveza.
Yep, first beer at 18 in New York City, Times Square, illegally.
It's not bad, right?
That people have better stories than that, but
Yeah.
I like that
No,
one.
that one's actually a pretty good one. My first beer was, the first time I drank a beer, we got this homeless dude in small town Texas. Because when you're in small town Texas, unfortunately, there's not a lot of fun stuff to do. And not really the only fun thing to do. And when you're 14 years old, is to experiment with some beer. And so we got this homeless dude. We was like, we'll buy you a lotto ticket if you buy some beer. And so he agreed. And we went to underneath this overpass outside of that small town, and had got a little tipsy there. So it wasn't just one beer. It was multiple, but that was my first experience. Anyways.
Yeah, it was a different world back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You could get away with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you didn't get away with it, people didn't know.
No.
You could go missing and hey, it was all for a beer.
Yeah. And if my mom listens to this podcast, that story's not true. It never happened. Anyways, so that was Jesse's first experience drinking a beer, and then I don't think it was his last, because shortly thereafter, what happened?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty good beer.
It was.
And then I kind of made it my mission while living in New York to see just how many places I could go in and get served. And turns out it was quite a lot.
Yes.
I ended up finding this bar that was a few blocks away from where we lived. And I went in there. It was a cool little, I want to say they were Cuban. They might have been Dominican bar. And it was just kind of a hole in the wall, kind of a rundown. You wouldn't even know it was a bar until you walked in. New York had a lot of places like that.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is. You walk in, you're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. At least they're beer.
So I walk in. I was the only person that spoke any English. He came up and asked what I wanted, and I just said Corona. And he understood that. And I sat there and I watched soccer and had a beer. And I was like, oh, dude, this is cool.
Yep.
So I have my beer and I pay and I leave, whatever. I ended up telling Sam about it.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, man, you got to come check out this place. It's pretty cool. So we go together. And this is probably a week later or whatever. Yeah. We go down there and we order. And I ended up having a couple of beers. So this is where I got my first, I don't think I was drunk, but a very strong buzz. And it was a very long walk home because I was very disoriented and did not know which direction to go.
Yep.
I ended up going the long way, went to the park. There was a park in the opposite direction of our house from the bar. Ended up walking behind the house, not in the alley, but a block over, all the way to the park, just lost. Did you get a buzz?
I did, yeah.
Okay, I was trying to figure out how we got lost if one of us was sober.
I remember we drank 3. I drank 3 for sure. I know I did. But we drank them really fast just so we could get that buzz. And I think I was like, yeah, we got to drink them really fast, dude. All right, get their first one, then we drink second one, third one, and then we, went to that park, walked around, and just philosophized and all that good stuff about
back
life.
when we thought we knew everything, and we were solving the world's problems, buzzed walking down.
Yep. We talked about our future wife a lot.
There was a lot of future wife talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seemed like it was never going to happen. Which is honestly makes no sense. We were basically the most gorgeous guys you'd ever met.
Yeah.
Like Fabio was kind of
jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. So, anyways, and well, I guess we can this is it touches on Jesse's love life, a little bit. Do you remember the time I stayed up with you all night?
I don't like the fact that that's all you have to say and it brings it back. Yeah. Yeah, that was when you were being responsible and actually had a job.
Oh, yeah, I did.
I did not.
No,
And I was heartbroken over this girl.
it happens.
And she lived all the way over in Washington.
Yeah.
Not DC, but Washington State.
Yeah, Washington State.
And I was heartbroken. And I was like, man, I'm just sad.
Yeah.
Crying, whatever.
Yeah.
Want to drink. And we drank wine. I don't remember how we even got the wine.
I don't know, actually. Did we buy it?
I hope so.
Well, I'm trying to think. Did any of the characters on the first floor buy it for us?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyways, I know it was Pinot Grigio, wasn't it?
No.
Was it not?
No, it was a red wine. And the only reason I know that is because I can no longer drink red wine because of that night. And Pinot Grigio is my favorite wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a red wine. It was awful. It was great in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that wine hits different than beer.
Yes.
And you're okay, or at least I was. I was okay until I decided to stand up. And everything went downhill and things started coming up.
Yep.
You stayed up all night consoling me. You even...
Did we go to
We
Starbucks?
jumped on, we jumped on the subway and went down, I was like 3 stops. And
Yeah.
you'd found a cool little Starbucks over there.
We had to get off the
overlooks
subway
water.
and get on the bus.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we got there and he got me some coffee to help sober me up. You were
Yep.
late for work.
Yes. A little bit.
And he trusted me a lot more than he should have because he left me there to get back home on my own.
Yeah. I don't remember that story. Were you able to get home just fine?
I managed. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember if you got lost or something.
No, I didn't get lost, thankfully, but I was nervous about it. Like the whole time I was watching, like, this is my stop. Yeah. Well, this isn't my stop.
No.
Oh, wait, this one's my stop. Nope, that's not it either. Okay. I did make it.
Yeah.
And that ended up being my route for a while. Shortly after that, I got hired on at a Sears.
Good old Sears.
Yeah, as a salesman in the electronics department.
That's right.
And that was... I think I spent as much time on the subway and buses getting there and back home as I did at work. That's how long that trip was. It was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah. What part of Queens was that? Jamaica?
It was close to Jamaica. And there may have been a better route for anybody that lives in New York and y'all are hearing this, like, oh, that's not a far hop.
Yeah.
There may have been a better route. To me,
Right.
that's the only route I knew. And it was like 3 hours round trip.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that store is no longer existing.
No,
anymore, right?
Sears is gone.
Yeah.
There we go, showing our age.
Right. Yeah. So that was Sears. I think I actually did get a job at Sears, but it was only for like 2 days.
Yeah, it was very short.
Yeah.
We worked together.
Yeah.
And that did not. Yeah.
No, that wouldn't have good.
You were smart and got out of there.
You stayed there a little longer, right?
Yeah, I think I worked at Sears for like a month.
Yeah.
It wasn't very long. And then I quit. In kind of a shameful way.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think so. I think it was glorious, but you know.
Yeah.
Do you remember the story you quit?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Don't know that I want to go into that story.
No. Okay.
No, just because I got family
Yeah.
that may listen.
Well, here's the thing. He
That I kinda
flashed them
used.
and left. There. The end. No, I'm kidding. He didn't flash them. Not that time.
I mean, they wouldn't have seen it from that far anyways. So
Yeah. So there's that. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are probably thinking, like, they keep talking about these mysterious characters on the first floor.
yeah, they were pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're 3 single guys moving to New York. Mm-hmm. And right below us is 3 women. One was not single.
Yes. Correct. She was deaf, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She was a student at Columbia University, which is one of the top universities in
Very
in the world,
intelligent girl.
you know. Yeah, very smart. So it was her, and then
Yeah, we had another one. I guess it don't matter if we say their names.
yeah,
Sarah was there.
Yeah, Sarah.
She was deaf. Very cool girl. Mm-hmm. Then there was Emily.
yep,
She was... Where was she from?
oh man,
I think Sarah was from New York.
yeah. Sarah was
I
from
think
New York.
from Long Island, if I remember right.
Emily, I want to say like was she like some Northeast state? I can't remember, but she was a writer, right?
Yes.
She was
Also, very smart girl.
Yeah.
She worked at a library,
yeah,
and she was... Or no, I'm sorry, not a library, at a publishing company, right?
maybe,
And she was working on writing her own books.
yeah,
Very intelligent girl.
yeah, yeah. So Emily, and then we had Elizabeth,
Elizabeth, she was from Vermont.
like really good artist.
Yes.
Just her art was incredible.
Yeah, very, very good painter.
Yeah, and not the, pretty. She was easy on the eyes.
She was very easy on the eyes.
Yes.
I happen to have a huge crush on Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I want to thank you and Ramoy. Well, everything worked out in the end. I'm married now. But man, y'all ruined my shot with her.
Yeah. I don't remember it like that, but well, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
it was like that. Well, Elizabeth, if you ever come across this podcast, give us a call.
Man, yeah. I've always kind of been curious, like where she is now, and Sarah. Have you followed up with any?
I did a few years back. I got in touch with Emily,
Did you?
and we just kind of chatted a little bit here and
Yeah.
there. She moved to California, I think. And I could be saying that
That's
wrong, but
right.
I'm pretty sure she moved to California.
I think I'm friends with her on Facebook.
Yeah, I was. I'm not on Facebook anymore, so that's why I don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I never really caught up again with her because I got married, and that's a former crush, so there's no reason to go there.
Yeah.
There was another girl that moved in downstairs shortly after we got there.
Yeah.
Her name was Serena,
Serena.
and she
Italian
was from
girl?
Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, Serena. And she was pretty easy on the eyes as well.
She was gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you throw the accent in there, so that was also gorgeous.
Yeah. And yeah, so that was fun, and she smoked, which we were happy because there was somebody else in the house that, knew our secret, and I think we stole cigarettes from her too. Or we didn't steal them, but we bummed cigarettes from her.
Yeah.
And so Serenity and then,
Serena.
Serena, not Serenity. I actually did talk to her occasionally after leaving New York, just kind of checking on how things were in Italy. Nothing really.
I did too.
Yeah.
And she was actually, she invited us over.
Yeah.
She was like, y'all need to come to Italy. Y'all got places to stay. Come hang out. And like idiots, we never did.
No. Well, we were broke as a joke too.
Yeah. But Serena, if you're ever come across this podcast and that offer still stands, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So there was 4 of them, right?
4. And actually, I have a scar from Serena.
Oh no.
I do.
What happened there?
Whenever she was moving in, I remember the director got a hold of us and said, "Hey, I've got another tenant moving in downstairs. Do y'all mind helping them carry their stuff in?" Well, of course. I was like, absolutely. Any excuse to go hang out with these girls. 'Cause they were very cool, but also remember I had a crush on Elizabeth. So I was like, yeah, let's
Right.
go.
We're single dudes in New York City.
Yeah. And we find out there's an Italian girl moving in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to help.
Yeah.
Because we're gentlemen.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, we go down, we're carrying, I think you were helping me carry it. She had a dresser with a mirror on the back. And we were carrying the mirror in, and I was holding it by the frame on top. Well, the frame snapped off. And so I reached down to catch it real quick, and there was a chip in the glass, and it caught my thumb and filleted it, like peeled the whole layer of skin down to the bone back. And of course, no insurance. I wasn't going to the hospital.
Right. Yeah.
And I was very tough. I mean, I walked in there stoic and got medical care from Emily. And they patched me up, and I really should have gone to the doctor for that. But yeah, we can post a picture, I think, on there. We can post a picture if y'all want to see what my thumb looks like still.
Yeah.
I'll never forget you, Serena.
Yeah. Good old Serena. And so, yeah, that's the mysterious people down below. There's a lot of things we got to do with them. It was fun having them there. I remember the Dierks Bentley concert.
That's where y'all ruined my chances.
Yeah. We went to Dierks Bentley came to New York, and at the time, me and Jesse were huge Dierks Bentley fans, and we were so excited that he was coming to New York City, in Manhattan. I think it was at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah, it was a small, more intimate concert, which was really cool.
Yeah, it was probably that way because it's country music in New York, well, and
yeah,
you know that. So I don't think he would have filled like what's the basketball arena,
Madison Square.
Yeah. So, but we went there, and Jesse was trying to shoot a shot.
I was.
Right?
We took Elizabeth. It was me, you, Ramoy, and Elizabeth. I don't know how we got her to go with us.
I don't either.
But we did.
Yeah.
And yeah, we hung out. It was, of course, this is later on. This isn't just right after I met her. We had gotten to know each other a little more, whatever. And maybe I'm reading it completely wrong, but I felt like there was a chance.
There's always a chance.
And so we were hanging out. We'd held hands.
Yeah.
We were kind of dancing in the concert, swaying back and forth, whatever. We got thirsty, so I was like, yeah, I'll being the gentleman. Absolutely, I'll get us something to drink. So I ran off to go get some waters for me and Elizabeth. And Sam and Ramoy started poking fun about us being a thing. Mm-hmm. And I come back with waters, and Elizabeth is gone. They embarrassed her. And she didn't talk much to me a whole lot after that.
Yeah.
So maybe I was reading it wrong.
No,
I don't think so, because she was holding my hand and we were dancing. So
yeah, you don't just
yeah,
hold a dude's hand for no reason, right?
yeah, surely not.
I don't know. They were from the Northeast. We were from the South. Who knows? But I think there
I
was
still loved her.
there was something
She was
there.
great.
But yeah, that was fun. We had to give him. We were giving him hell, and I guess it kind of backfired on Jesse.
On me, yeah.
Yeah. But during that concert, got to what was it? You know, Dirk's, because we were
Right up on the stage.
up on the stage, right? And got to give Dierks Bentley a high five, or kind of a sorry guys, little hand, not a handshake. We just clapped hands, you know, like he was going through the crowd, you know.
Yeah.
And for a guy that was obsessed with Dierks Bentley at the time, that was like the highlight of my life.
And a good example of how obsessed Sam was with Dierks Bentley at the time. At that concert, and a lot of Dierks' older music, he talks about little white tank tops.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was a lot of girls there wearing little white tank tops, looking good. Mm-hmm. And there was this one really cute blonde, and she had one of those beer box cowboy hats on.
Yeah.
And her little white tank top.
That's right.
And yeah, she wanted to get on Sam's shoulders.
I forgot all about that.
And so he put her up there so she could see, because she was shorter.
Yeah.
So she could see. And the whole time, Sam just kept looking at me like, I wish she'd get off. Like, she's ruining my concert. Like, this is awful.
Yeah.
And this girl was like, she was into Sam.
I was totally unaware, and I think I was kicking myself afterwards. Like, what the freak was I thinking?
Well, after y'all made Elizabeth leave, I was like, good. I'm glad you missed out too.
Yeah. Maybe I was a little too obsessed with Dierks Bentley.
A little
at
bit of
that
karma
time.
there.
Yeah. So went to the Dierks Bentley concert. And then, you know, I think maybe we were there for about a week or two, and we decided we wanted to start doing videos. This was before really the YouTube or the YouTubers, you know, creating these pranks and stuff like that.
Yeah. This is when Vine was really big.
Yeah. Yeah, Vine was big.
MySpace.
And MySpace.
Facebook was brand new to junior colleges. Like
Yeah.
it was still big in the, you know, like Harvards and stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't opened up. It still wasn't opened up to the general public. You still had to have a college email.
Right. Yeah, this is 2006 when this is happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so I just lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Well, you were. I think you were trying to transition over into us doing our own videos.
Yeah, we're doing our own videos.
This is not our first show that we've done.
No, we had
It's by far the better show that we've done.
A little bit, yeah. But we had a blast with, what do we call it? George and Bob, right?
George and Bob.
Mm-hmm. George and Bob. And we even had commercials that we made up. We didn't have paid advertisement or anything like that. We just made up our own commercials.
Yeah, we're not opposed to paid advertising, by the way.
No, not at all. But we made up our own commercials, and that kind of leads into one individual that we met during a commercial that we were creating. Do you remember that story?
Yeah, that was really late at night. We had gone out to the hookah bar.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it was like 2-ish in the morning. We didn't drink or anything. We just went out and smoked the hookah and hung out. And we left, and this still shows you just how new we still were to New York. We got on the subway, but we were going the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. So we went to the end of the line, and we had no clue until the train stopped. And like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And so we get there at the end of the line. This other guy walks in to get on to go the other way, the way we should be going. Mm-hmm. And he sits down on the complete opposite end of the cart. So we're sitting there, and hey, we got all this time. We're sitting here waiting. Let's do a commercial. Throw it into one of our videos.
Yep.
And what did you have on you?
Well, do you remember? Are you talking about what I had on?
Yeah. So we had to do a commercial, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do a commercial about.
Okay. And so I know we did a Band-Aid commercial, right? Did I have a Band-Aid on me?
You had a little pack of Band-Aids.
Oh.
And I don't know why you had a little pack of Band-Aids.
That's weird. I don't know.
But you did. So I've got Band-Aids. Cool. We'll do a Band-Aid commercial. And
so Jesse is going to, so I have the camera set up, and Jesse's going to walk past the camera and fall and then get up and, like he needs a Band-Aid for falling. Yeah, I know. Very corny and stupid, but we thought it was groundbreaking. And so Jesse walks, is in the act, walks across the camera and falls and makes a noise like,
So, Family Guy, Peter Griffin, when he falls, it's
yes.
It wasn't quite that dramatic, but it was dramatic.
It was dramatic. And then all of a sudden we hear this, hey!
Yeah, just a quick description of this guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say tall. Me and Sam are fairly tall. I'd say he was probably 5'10", 5'11"-ish. Yeah. Stacked. Big black guy.
Huge.
I mean, just his biceps were the size of my thighs.
Yeah. He's like a professional bodybuilder.
That's what he looked like. Yeah. Just jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he jumps up. I fall.
Yeah.
And he jumps up. He's like, hey, yo, say, cuz,
yeah,
you all right? And we're like, what?
We're like, oh, shoot.
We're about to be in a situation here.
About to get mugged.
Because we're acting stupid on the train at 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And now he was cool as all get out. He comes over and he helps me up. And we're laughing at this point.
Yeah.
And we're trying to explain to him, it's a commercial. We're doing a video.
Yeah, he was really confused there for a minute.
He was, because he really thought I was hurt.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're laughing at him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, didn't find that funny, trying to help you out.
Right.
And so, we had to explain to him, no, we're recording.
Yeah.
And it kind of switched over from there. And he was like, I can't remember if we invited to interview him or if he was like, oh, I'll be on the video.
No, yeah, that's how it was. He wanted to be.
Like, I knew by the,
Yeah. And so, it was, we hung out with him, and he started telling us stories about his life, right?
Yeah. We ended up turning the camera off because the train started moving, which is unfortunate because I wish we had that recorded.
Right. I know. But apparently, according to Gebo, did we tell?
We didn't tell him his name. His name was Gebo.
That was his name. Gebo. Apparently, he was a thing. Right.
Yeah, in the streets.
Yes,
in Brooklyn specifically.
Yeah. He was. Did he say he was a barber? Like he cut Jay-Z's hair.
He said he cut Jay-Z's hair.
Yeah, cut Jay-Z's hair. They all know Gebo. They all know me. And
yeah. So tell him why he was on the train.
I don't remember.
Oh no?
No.
So we ended up staying. Of course, the train starts moving back to the stop we were supposed to be heading towards.
Yeah.
And we ended up staying on the train and just talking with him past our stop because we were just so intrigued. Mm-hmm. But he was on the train that night because he said he had just gotten out of prison, and he went home and his mama wouldn't let him stay there. So he had nowhere to go. So he was just riding the train till the next day so he could try to figure something out to find somewhere to stay. Oh. And I don't remember what he went to prison for.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I know that's what he had told us. He had just gotten out. Mm-hmm. And he had a lot of hardships. And
yeah, for sure. But
Gebo, we apologize. We may have led you on a little for the video.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, don't kill us. We love you.
Yeah. He wanted to be on the video, and we kind of played it up like, we get, clips on like ESPN and stuff.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that.
He was like, oh, so you're big time.
Yeah, we're big time.
Yeah, we're big time.
For sure.
He's like, yeah, let me tell you my story. And so he's telling us his story.
Yep.
And we were supposed to contact him whenever it was going to be aired.
Yeah.
And it never got aired because we weren't big time. We were on MySpace.
Yeah, we were on MySpace.
And Facebook got uploaded there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we were intrigued with his whole story. He ended up getting off the train, so we got off and turned around, went back home.
Yep.
It's daylight by this point. Mm-hmm. That does. Should we continue on with the Gebo?
Yeah, you can add a little more. Well, actually, let's. We're about a little over an hour.
Limit?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's leave it there. But just know there is more to the story on Gebo, and he played a lot bigger factor in our life than we
he did.
thought would happen.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
But we'll dig into that on the next episode.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So we'll, I guess we're going to try. We're trying to shoot for next Saturday.
Yes.
Okay. So next Saturday, the 18th, and that'll be 2 days before the inauguration. So I'm sure we'll have something to talk about regarding that. I'm sure something's going to happen there. It seems we're living in crazy times, man. It seems like we have
politics are crazy anyways, and then the world's insane.
Right I know. It's an exciting time to be alive for sure, and it's a scary time at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It's exciting because these stories that, there's so many like the greatest story of the year happening almost weekly. Every week.
Yeah.
Which is kind of desensitizing.
Yeah,
I can't say that word apparently. But yeah, I'm sure we'll have something on that, on some events that are going to happen between now and next Saturday. And we'll get into more on Gebo.
Yep.
Sound good to you?
Appreciate y'all listening to us. Don't forget to hit up our TikTok.
Yeah.
We'll put links in there for our X account, TikTok.
For sure.
All that stuff. And if y'all don't mind, hit up Apple Podcast, YouTube. We need all the views and likes and subscriptions we could get right now.
Absolutely. Speaking of YouTube, I think we're going to try, maybe, I don't know if it'll be next week. We'll see on equipment and just if we can figure it out. Okay. We have no producer. We are the producers.
Yeah.
We're still learning, and so we would like to get video going eventually. So we'll see. I don't know if it'll happen next Saturday, but in the future to be continued.
Alrighty. Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you all for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe to our channel if you enjoy this type of content, and leave a comment if you have any topic you would like for us to cover. Have a great day.
Mine's always drifting somewhere out there. Questions lost, floating in the air. Thoughts like whispers calling me near. Visions blurry but crystal clear. Wandering mind, never quite still. Chasing shadows, climbing the hill. Restless spirit caught in